Rock and metal invasion! Rock and metal invasion! Rock and metal invasion! Rock and metal invasion!
Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Coming up on the show today, I am doing new additions to the collection. I thought why not show some new vinyl records that I have added to my collection recently. So it's Saturday night here in New Zealand. I thought I'll have a drink, kick back, and just talk about some new music that I have added to my collection. Well, when I say new, some of it's actually kind of old, but there is also new as well. So it's a bit of a mixture, really. Cheers. A bit of a mixture of old music and newer music. Definitely all sort of in the rock genre, I think, pretty much. Yeah, and we've got definitely a lot of 80s and yeah, like I said, some newer music that's come out recently, or fairly recently. Quite a lot of that 12-inch singles actually. So I'm quite into buying 12-inch singles, maxi singles, because I've got a lot of the albums, but sometimes I'm missing some of these bonus tracks or maybe just extra B-sides that aren't on the weren't on the album. So they're always quite fun to collect. And yeah, I've got a few little extra bonuses as well with some of these records. They're kind of cool. But I'll discuss that when they come up. So yeah, first one I'm going to show now before these all these records, or the ones I'm about to show, come from a seller in the UK, and he always gives me the best customer service. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with buying online and buying from record shops, but usually there's not a lot of sort of great customer service. Not bad, it's just it is what it is. It's a transaction, you buy records, they send them to you. But this guy I buy from, and the shop is called um, Left Left-Legged Pineapple. The Left-Legged Pineapple is the name of the shop. They're on Discogs. And the guy I buy from, Jason, he always just really gives me fantastic service, emails me, says whatever I need that might, gives me really useful information about the records that he's sending me. Quite often he'll say, "Oh, look, I've had a look at one of these records. It's actually probably more of a VG rather than a VG plus, so I'll take a couple of pounds off," or just things like that. Um, and I actually, and I've talked about this before on a recent show where I talked about, um, how to, tips for increasing your record collection. And so one thing is, yes, he's on Discogs, but I don't buy from his Discogs. I go to his website because the records there are a bit cheaper. I don't know how up to date it is. Like maybe his Discogs is a little bit more up to date, but I think as well, sometimes his website has records that he's not even listing on Discogs. So yeah, so Left-Legged Pineapple and all these records I'm going to show are from there. So check them out, and if you do buy something, tell Jason that Steve from New Zealand sent you. All right, so the first one that I'm going to show that I bought from him is a 12-inch single, and it's for Mama's Boys. Now, really like the Mama's Boys. Just got into them fairly recently. I mean, I knew about them back in the day, but didn't really have a big collection of them. But starting to get quite a good collection of Mama's Boys albums now, and also now I've got a 12-inch single. So this is for Waiting for a Miracle, which is actually probably uh, one of the my favorite Mama's Boys songs. And it also has a non-album track called Lightning Strikes. At least it's not on the vinyl version of the album. But what's really cool actually about this is that it comes with a guitar. And if you look behind me, you'll see the guitar is up on the wall there. So, of course, it's just a cardboard guitar. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, I think. So I thought that was quite cool. So yeah, so there we go. So and that's back in the day there, especially with those 12-inch singles, you sometimes could get little extra things like that. Not often, but sometimes there would be, especially like for posters. Sometimes those 12-inch singles are really good for getting like a poster or something like that. So, but that was quite different, and I thought that's a pretty cool idea, and it looks really good. So, yeah, I think I'll probably keep that up there. So I got that. And by the way, too, the prices are pretty reasonable. Now, I do, being in New Zealand, the postage isn't cheap. Postage isn't cheap. And it does cost a little bit, but I do find that it's worth it for some sellers in the UK. And like I said, Jason at Left Legged Pineapple was good prices, good customer service. The funny thing actually too about this order is that this is what I'm saying. It was great service because he accidentally sent them to Australia. I guess, sometimes people get New Zealand and Australia confused. And so he sent all these records to Australia, and they got sort of held up there. But it was all tracked, and so we were able to see that it actually was in Australia. I emailed him about it. I said, I think they've been sent to Australia, and he was like, "Oh yeah, my bad. I got it wrong. I'll. Do you want a refund, or do you want me to just try and get this sorted out so I can, get them to you?" I think initially he was going to have them sent back from Australia back to him in the UK, and then he was going to send them to me at the correct address. But he managed to work it, I think, pretty good that they just sent it on from Australia to New Zealand, which saved a lot of time. I don't know, he's probably still had to pay for that, but um, yeah, it was like no problem about it whatsoever. And if I had just said, "Oh, look, no, don't worry about it, just give me a refund," he would have done that as well. So, like, I didn't, accidents like that happen. And talking of accidents, so yes, so I did eventually get the records, but he made another mistake, and here I am, sort of, you know, talking him up, saying how great he is, and he sent me the wrong record. He sent me he sent me a incorrect record, but I'm not going to tell him about it. I'm not going to worry about it because, like I say, I get great service from him. He's already gone out of his way to get these records to me after he sent them to the wrong place. So, and it's not a big deal. Like I say, his records don't cost a lot, and this didn't cost me a lot of money. But he sent me The Creek, Storm the Gate, which is a pretty good album. Pretty good album. American hard rock, very sort of 80s. There's the guys at the back there. Typical sort of mid late 80s sort of look on Music for Nations. Problem is I've already got this album and I was expecting The Creek, the self-titled debut album. So yeah, and that was what was listed. So but yeah, no big deal. I've got two of them now. And this is mint copy too, but my other one is as well. So if you're in New Zealand and you're watching this and you would like a copy of The Creek, I'll just get it out again. If you'd like a copy of The Creek, Storm the Gate, and you're in New Zealand, all you got to do is pay for the postage, and I will send that to you. So, because I really don't need two copies of it, and yeah, I mean, possibly I could sell it, but I'm happy to give it away to anyone in New Zealand who happens to be watching this episode. So, if you're interested, just yeah, drop a message, and but you will have to pay postage, probably about $15. So, still not that cheap, but yeah. So, but yeah, I don't really need another copy of that one. It's not a bad album though; it's pretty good. But of course, now I'm still on the search for the debut Creek album. I do have Sugar Creek, so that's the thing about that band. So they put out an album as Sugar Creek, and they changed their name to The Creek. But I'm pretty sure there's a debut. Their debut album is just self-titled, The Creek, and then they put out Storm the Gate. All right, next one I got in that same package is an interesting one. It's called Tattoo and Blood Red. So I wouldn't say it's a blind buy because I had listened to it online a little bit, but not a lot. And they're the guys at the back. First song's really heavy, Top of the Rock, really kind of thrashy, but it's a bit of a mix really. It's on Metal Blade, and Roadrunner. Not sure how that works. Got both logos on there. But yeah, pretty heavy. Definitely sort of that sort of really 80s metal, and but a little bit thrashy. And yeah, there's the guys at the back there. They put out another album after this, I think, as well, which I think you can get on vinyl, but it's not easy to get on vinyl. And I think that could be it. But from what I've heard, like I haven't even actually given this a spin yet, but like I said, heard it a little bit online, and yeah, I thought it was worth getting. It was again, all these records I got from Jason, not expensive. It didn't cost a lot of money. And this one in particular, it's like this next one I'm going to show you. I think it was like £2, not even maybe yeah, £1.50. Not a lot, and considering what it is, because it's autographed. Enough's Enough, Baby Loves You. So it's like this is actually like a 10-inch single. Um, So yeah, I mean, I can't really make out these signatures, but it's got signatures on here, and I mean, I'm assuming it's enough's enough signatures. But yeah, and it says inside tour notes plus exclusive color picks. So it's pretty cool because it's got well, it's got the song "Baby Loves You," which is from Strength, their second album. But it's also got "Fly Home Michelle" live and a cover of the Beatles song "Revolution." So that's pretty cool to have that. And yeah, so you open it up and kind of got pictures and yeah, like some information from their UK tour. So yeah, it was like thought I'd jump on that one. So yeah, I love a bit of Enough's Enough. I don't actually have Strength on vinyl, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's not super easy to get. But I mean, I've got it on cassette, believe it or not. But their debut album I've got on vinyl, which I really like. Interestingly enough, and I think because I think most people think Strength is better, um, I actually kind of still prefer the first album. It might probably one reason why I haven't been in a rush to get the second one on vinyl because yeah, it's okay, it's good, and it's good to have that. And I've got some other singles from that Strength album as well on vinyl. So yeah. Anyway, cheers. Better get moving because I do have actually quite a few to show. I'm still on the pile I got from Jason. Now, before I show the next record from Jason that I got, I just want to show this. Now, I showed this quite recently. Jackal, Push Comes to Shove, their second album came out on picture disc. I think I showed this when the A to Z to Hair Metal episode that I did, and I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I know picture disc probably the sound quality is not quite as good, but I think that's the only way you can get that album. But interestingly enough, I also in this package from Jason, I got Push Comes to Shove 12-inch single. So here it is here, and it's also another picture disc. So here it is here. Push Comes to Shove, Jackal, 12-inch picture disc single. Go to the back, and you've got Push Comes to Shove, the LP version. You've also got Redneck Punk and the Lumberjack Live. So a couple of live tracks on there. But yeah, carrying on, I guess, from the image that they had on the picture disc for the album. It's a similar sort of image, but slightly different. Let's see if I can get it out. I'll just show you. So here's the picture disc. Gee, not quite sure what way this even goes up, but anyway, that's it there. And then guys at the back with that's pretty much what it says on the back cover. It's Jackal. Yeah. So, and that wasn't a lot of money either. So that was pretty cool thing to get. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. From Jason, the records I got from Jason. So next one I got, it's just a sort of a random purchase. I actually, I actually picked up a whole pile of records that people were. It was like a bulk lot, and it's a long story that I'm not going to get into. It didn't cost me a lot of money, this box of records, and it had a lot of stuff I wasn't interested in. But it did have this album, and I'm kind of interested in this. And this is the soundtrack to Dreams. Now, you'd have to be at least probably my age to know about this show and maybe even been in America because I don't know if it went anywhere internationally. It was a TV show only played for one season, and it's basically I think it's like I haven't seen the show. I don't know anything about well, I know a little bit, but I don't really know much about the TV show. Came out in '84. Yes, it's what's his name? John Stamos in there. That's Jamie Gertz, I think. And I think her name is Valerie Stevenson. I think that's right. It's got the people's names at the back. But yeah, Valerie Stevenson, a couple of other guys there that, I don't know. But yeah, so I thought it was kind of interesting. And if you go to the back, you can see them there. So it's the TV show is basically about these people trying to sort of make it as a rock band. And yeah, John Stamos, I think actually is like can actually play musical instruments because I saw him on YouTube uh, drumming, doing some drums on drums. So yeah, and he does sing on this. I'm pretty sure. I don't know about his singing. I don't know about his voice. As I have played this. But Valerie Stevenson, who I don't really know too much about, she's great. She can really sing. And there's a song on here called "Kiss Me Red," which isn't a bad song. And actually, Cheap Trick did a version of it. I think on their Doctor album from 1986. It's been covered a few times. It's actually a who are those guys that do lots of songwriting? They've written for Cyndi Lauper. Lots of famous. Oh, you see their credits come up quite a bit. What's their name? So they wrote it. It's Steinberg and Kelly. Yeah. So you might have seen them. They're kind of familiar names as sort of songwriters. So they wrote that song. I think they might have some other songwriting credits on here as well. Yeah, like Alone. I think they wrote Alone as well, didn't they? Which let's just double check on that. Yes, they did. Yeah, so they wrote that one as well. Now, Alone, this is an interesting one. Okay, so that was initially came out, same songwriter Steinberg and Kelly, and initially came out on the 1983 album by a band called I-10, but they are covering that song on this soundtrack. But of course, it's Heart who make it huge, right? When they do their version of Alone, so it's got that on it. A lot of it's real pop stuff. It just doesn't really appeal. But like I say. Kiss Me in Red's not bad, of course. Alone we know. John Stamos and his vocals on Alone though. Ooh, yeah, don't know. Sorry, John. But there is another song on here that I liked, and it's called Suspicious, and that's got Valerie Simpson. That's the one song that I would actually quite happily play. On regular sort of rotation sort of thing. And Kiss Me Red, not bad, but um, I once I heard that, I played the cheap trick version, and I did much prefer that one. But yeah, so it's basically like I say, came in a whole box of records that I got for almost nothing. So it was one of the very few records on there that was worth sort of keeping and playing. But yeah, so go check it out. You can actually, I think you can watch the whole TV uh, series if you really want to. It's on YouTube, I think. I know there's a Facebook page as well, for people who like the show. It only lasted one season, and it was Goober Peters company production. They're pretty big sort of TV production studio. But yeah, surprisingly, yeah, they probably would have invested quite a bit of money in this, but yeah, only lasted the one season. And of course, John Stamos, he goes on to Full House, and Jamie Gertz is pretty well known as a movie in movies, especially from the 80s. Sadly, Valerie Stevenson, because I checked her out because yeah, she sounds actually like really good on this. She doesn't do a lot more. Makes a guest appearance on the A Team, but yeah, she sadly passed away in 2015, and she was only 52. But yeah. All right, moving on. Next one, uh, another 12-inch single. So this is Quite Right and Live Right. So this is actually a Japanese press, and I thought it was worth picking up because it's got just four songs, but they're all live. Mental Health, Slick Black Cadillac, Let's Get Crazy, and Love's a Bitch. And it says recorded in Nashville, June 4th, 1983. So I'm not quite sure when Mental Health came out, but it was probably around that time. So yeah, live recording, Japanese press. Yeah, so there's an insert as well. Yeah, so that's all written in Japanese there, but then it's got the guys over here. Picture of them. Yeah, so that wasn't expensive. I thought let's just get that. Now next one is an interesting one. This one I picked up online. Now it's Lisa Dominique. Now I've showed this 12-inch single before. This is Jealous Heart that I picked up actually in a local, well, in New Zealand anyway, at a record shop for just for a couple of bucks. But this one I actually purchased online. Again, it wasn't expensive though. But what was interesting was when I got it, it came with some extra information, some extra things. So first I'll show you the 12-inch single. So it's not an album. I don't have any Lisa Dominique album, but I do have now two 12-inch singles, and this is for All Fall Down. So there's Lisa looking quite attractive, I have to say, on the cover there. Nice photo of her. And get a close up there too. They decided that was necessary, that shot. Yeah, I guess it is. And there she is again. And then that's her band. And yeah, so Marino is actually her older brother. So that guy there, Marino, that's actually her older brother. And this song, this 12-inch single has All Fall Down, Time Bomb, and Dream Maker. So Time Bomb, Dream Maker on the B side. Dream Maker is actually exclusive to this release. Although, yeah, I think um, Lisa and Marino put out an album together, maybe under a different name, prior to her going solo, and I think it had Dream Maker on it. So they kind of had released it before. It's one of their older songs, but yeah. So there's that. But what was interesting is it also came with a couple of like promo things. So it came with this from FM Records, and it's basically obviously for a record, so for a radio station, and it says Radio Reaction Report. Will you be playing this single on your radio station? If so, on what show and when? And it's asking for your personal reaction. Do you require further copies? And then your name. And then it says down here, Lisa Dominique is available for interview from now to the end of February. Why not let Lisa record a special raunchy jingle for your show? Well, I'd love it if she could do that. I mean, to be honest with you, I know this is very old. This is like 1988 or whatever, and it's not relevant now. But I have actually been in contact with Lisa via Facebook. Well, I have. She has not yet returned the contact um, because I thought she'd be an interesting person to interview. And I don't normally do interviews. I'm not that fussed about doing interviews, but I would be quite interested in interviewing her. She's actually living in the States now and has been quite successful as an author. And also, she puts out something called Vampire Wine, which has been quite successful as well. I think her husband runs it as well. But yeah, so she's doing quite well for herself. There's a photo of her on Facebook, and I think I got her own, like I found her own personal Facebook page. So I messaged her and I just said, do you want to come on the show and have a chat? But as yet, no reply. But I'll let you know if things change. But anyway, I don't need her to do a raunchy jingle for my show, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And it talks about the release date. Um, I guess that's for the album. I'm not sure. Maybe. Oh, actually, no, probably for the single, I'm guessing. And yes, there is a music video. So it talks about the music video, and there is a music video for this. And it says contact Claire Britt, head of promotion. So she is head of promotions for FM Records. And I Googled her as well. I thought, I wonder what she's up to. Yeah, she's like still involved like in music and music industry. And I mean, I think she did take a break for a while, but yeah, she's promoting bands still and everything like that. So yeah, interesting. Oh, and then there was this as well. So this is kind of more like, hyping it up, right? Like, what's so great about Lisa Dominique? Well, she's been a front cover celebrity of the Daily Star newspaper, special appearances on the James Whale show. I actually watched that on YouTube. I watched her appearance on James Whale show. They were sort of talking about how heavy metal might be corrupting the youth, and she's like, I'm actually more rock and roll. And it's actually that's a fair point. Like she's not really heavy metal, right? But she's still there looking all like she is part of a heavy metal band and debating it, I guess, a little bit. But yeah, so yeah, you can see that on YouTube. And then it says, despite being pursued by Girly Magazine and Page 3 editors, I wonder why, Lisa insists following a musical career, having already gained interest from Prince. I don't know anything about that. Lisa's accompanying raunchy video will establish her as a glamorous addition to the UK pop scene alongside the likes of Wendy James. Interesting comparison. Anyway, then it just said she'll be promoting her single and doing live dates. And yeah, so an album did come out, I guess, after these singles, and then she did another album as well. I think got two albums. And then of course, this sort of music is kind of not really happening for a while. She put out a third album, which I had a look on Discogs. I'm not sure what type of album it is. I have a feeling it might be like dance music. But either way, it's only on CD, but very hard to get. And I was seeing on Discogs that, the sort of average selling price is like $180 or something like that. So someone's really, well, people really want that CD, that album, that third album. Um, her other two albums, the first two albums, which are more sort of hard rock albums, you can get on vinyl, and they're not super expensive. But I'm just sort of, yeah, haven't come across them. So we'll see if I get any Lisa Dominique albums. But I've got two 12-inch singles now, and I've got a press release. So yeah, so it's got this, and then it's got this is also pretty cool because then it's got all these clippings from, yeah, magazines that she's been in. If she comes on the show, I'd like to show her all this. But yeah. So she also was quite often featured in Kerrang magazine. So she would be modeling they had Kerrang caps and t-shirts and things like that. And so you'd often see her in Kerrang magazine modeling those with Blaze Bailey. Yeah, Blaze Bailey of all people. Before he was, I don't know if he was in Wolfsbane at that time, probably was, but before he was an Iron Maiden anyway. Um, well, there we go. There she is again. Um, yeah, anyway, there's quite a few newspaper clippings of her. Right, so moving on. Oh, actually, so yeah, that's the end of the like used albums. The rest are all new albums. Now, all of these albums, are they? Are they all? Yeah, I think they might be. Yeah, I think they are. All of these new albums I got from a store here in New Zealand called JB Hi-Fi, and they are just currently doing pretty crazy sale because I don't think I've ever seen new records this cheap before. They've for like a lot of their records, they've taken 75% off. I'm not sure if they're like trying to sort of maybe get rid of their records and maybe they're not going to do vinyl anymore. I don't think so. I haven't heard that that's the case. But I must admit, recently I've been hearing about a few record shops in New Zealand closing or going to, not maybe even, well, they're closing. The physical shops are closing and they're becoming, you know, mail only, mail order only. There's been a couple recently that has happened to here in New Zealand. So I'm just wondering if maybe JB are just finding it not worthwhile so much with the records because they sell other things as well. I don't know. It's just quite a massive reduction, but I guess that's kind of how they roll. They're either gonna. I think their feeling is we sell it for the maximum price, or we just basically get rid of it. So they're taking pretty much 75% off all their records. Not all their records, but a lot of their records. And initially, when the sale started, because I went online to have a look, and I was like, I can't believe the prices of these. They had like about 1,000 albums on their website. Uh, yeah, well, pretty much 75% off. But now it's probably down to there's only about 300 left or something like that. So, and yeah, it's not like brand new releases. Some of these albums have been out for a while now. So obviously the ones they've decided they just couldn't get rid of or couldn't sell. But yeah, there's been no gradual sort of decrease in price. It's just all of a sudden 75% off. Now, I mentioned them before because on long weekends here in New Zealand, they always usually have a sale where I think it's like 25% off all vinyl, which is a pretty good deal in itself, right? But 75% off. So I got, I'll show you what I got. So I got McMars, or the other side of Mars. Yeah, believe it or not, I didn't pick this up when it came out, even though I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it, didn't love it, and I thought, well, again, for exactly this reason, if I see it cheap, then I'll get it, and got it very cheap. I got this for $15, $12, something like that, and they're all pretty much around that price. Some are a little bit more, but yeah, very cheap. And yeah, but that's what it is when it's 75% off, I guess. So yeah, so good to get that one. Next one I got Daltrey. And again, a lot of these I wouldn't necessarily get unless they were this cheap. So this was 75% off. It's just a six-track EP. I got to say, Chris Daltrey, I think, has a great voice. He's got a bit too soft for me the last few albums, but this one's got some good rockers on it, and it is produced by Marty Fredrickson, who I've talked about, of course, on my channel before. He is, of course, he was in the band Outlaw Blood, heavy metal band, and then he's gone on, of course, to be a songwriter for Aerosmith and other well-known bands. But yeah, I like the song Artificial. Yeah, that's a really good song. But only six tracks, so it's just an EP, and it's called Part One. A lot of bands are doing this now. Artists are doing this now, sort of stretch it out a little bit. So it's called Shock to the System, and that was Part One. But yeah, you only get six songs. So um, I got the vocalist from Creed, Scott Stapp. It's the only album of his I actually have. Again, though, it's cheap, and I have heard it online, and I enjoyed High Power, Dead Man's Trigger, and Black Butterfly. I thought they were a pretty good song. And again, it's produced by Marty Fredrickson. It was also Scott Stevens as well, and Scott Stevens as well with the Daltrey one. So I guess he's in a bit of a partnership production thing with that guy Scott Stevens. But yeah, came out on Napalm Records, which is interesting, isn't it? Yeah, sort of think Napalm are going to be putting out Scott Stapp records. Are usually a bit heavier than that, but they've definitely diversified recently, haven't they? But yeah, I don't mind it. Like I say, there's quite a lot of apart from the songs I mentioned, there's quite a few ballads on here, which is a bit of a shame. But I like the rockers, like High Power, Dead Man's Trigger, and Black Butterfly, pretty good. And yeah, again, like $12, I'd pick that up for. Now this one I had to pay a little bit more for. It's a band called Motionless in White. I quite enjoy these guys, sort of metalcore, I suppose. They, been around for a while. I got into them. Reincarnate. I really like that album. Got into them when that one came out. It was quite a few years ago. But I wouldn't pay the asking price on here is $101 or $101.99. No way I would pay $101.99 for this. But when it's 75% off, and that's easy maths, isn't it? When it's $100, pretty much it cost me like $26, something like that. So, and it is deluxe edition. Yeah, deluxe, okay. Four bonus tracks. Um, yeah, Sign of Life. That's a good song. I like that one. Um, but yeah, $100 really? Like that's crazy. It is a double LP, but in deluxe or whatever that means. But yeah, just crazy. But 25, $26. Yep, I'll get it. Um, so I got this one as well. Now I haven't got any Slash on vinyl, but I have now. So yeah, I've got his three previous albums I do actually have on CD. This is the fourth one, the one he's done. He's done these albums with Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge, and they're pretty good actually. I mean, I will admit I've really been enjoying his solo albums. This one's been out for a while. This is not even his newest one, right? He's got a newer one, but yeah, but yeah, pretty good. But never been in a great rush to get it. But yeah, for the price, yeah, get it. Like I said, it was retail. It's got the retail here of 56.99. So 75% off, whatever that is. Yeah, that's how much I paid. Um, this one was really cheap. Um, doesn't have the original price on it, but I actually got this for $10. And it is Rad music from the motion picture soundtrack. Now I picked this up because it's got some John Farnham songs on here I really like. Break the Ice, that is a good song. It's like AOR, melodic rock, and also the other one, Thunder in Your Heart, John Farnham as well. Really like those songs. Got Send Me an Angel by Real Life, and I always really like that one too, I have to say. The movie I don't know much about, if anything about. And as far as anyone else on here that's particularly interesting, not really. There was another John Farnham song with you, but I don't know how good that one is. I haven't even played this yet, but I know Break the Ice and I know Thunder in Your Heart because I think I brought them as 7-inch singles. I think I've got them as 7-inch singles, But because the original album soundtrack was pretty hard to get and not cheap. Obviously, it's been reissued, and yeah, I thought, well, I might as well get it because in a lot of ways I've already got the songs I really like, but on single, so it's nice to have an album, the album sort of soundtrack. So yeah, like it's $10, so pretty cheap. And last one's a bit of a blind buy. It was a total blind buy, but it seemed like it's worth getting for the money. And I don't get buy a lot of thrash, but yeah, I picked up Whiplash and Ticket to Mayhem. So yeah, music on vinyl, and yeah, so it was basically 14 bucks, and it says here limited edition of 1,000 individually numbered on swamp green colored vinyl. Yeah, I don't know anything. I mean, I think I've heard of the band, but I don't really know too much about it. I'm pretty sure it's thrash. Haven't played it yet, and they're the guys at the back there. But for the money, I thought, why not? Roadrunner it's got here, so maybe initially it came out on Roadrunner back in the day, back in the I guess late 80s probably. 87 it says here. There we go, 87 Roadrunner Records original recording date. Yeah. So there we go. So that's what I've added to my collection recently. Quite a bit there, but some interesting stuff. Um, yeah, let me know if you know of any of those albums and what you think of them. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and cheers. Catch you later.